In examining this Guru Tattva, or the truth about Guru, Jiva Goswami cites three types of Guru: Shravan Guru, Shiksha Guru, and Diksha Guru. So the Shravan Guru, who is a Shravan Guru? Shravan Guru. That person from whom one hears knowledge of the Bhakti and Bhagavad Tapta is known as Shravan Guru. Sadhaka should receive instructions on Bhagavad Dharma from such a spiritual master. By carrying out those instructions, Hari will personally gives himself to the devotee. So the Shravan Guru, he is the one who gives instructions how to execute bhajan. There may be many Shravan Gurus. The sadhaka should take shelter of one Mahapurush among them, who is suitable to his nature, and it's suitable to his nature and receive instructions regarding how to perform bhajan. Suitable to his nature means that when you meet with that sadhu, he's friendly, he's affectionate, so that then we can relate to him. If he's very proud or very elevated or very distant from everyone, then it's very hard to relate to that spiritual master. Now we talk about Shiksha Guru. Out of many such competent Shravan Gurus, one who gives instruction in bhajan suitable to the bhava of the sadhaka is called a Shiksha Guru. There may be many Shiksha Gurus also. It's advantageous to have one Shiksha Guru. In particular, the Shiksha Guru are usually one and the same person. So oftentimes whoever you're hearing from some guru, he's Shravan Guru. And later he actually starts to function as your Shiksha Guru. He gives you specific instructions of what to do and what not to do. Or the other one is just generally speaking all kinds of philosophy, the Shravan Guru. You're hearing. So that's Shravan Guru, Shiksha Guru, now Diksha Guru. The Guru who gives mantra for worship according to rules and regulations of Scripture is called Diksha Guru, or Mantra Guru. Diksha Guru should be well conversant with the conclusions in the Vedas. He should be adept in expounding those conclusions. He knows the Vedas, he's expert in explaining them, he had direct experience and realized Krishna, and he's completely detached from material sense objects. If he's lacking, if he doesn't have these characteristics, then the faith of the disciple will waver. So you may see the Guru, he speaks very nicely, he's extremely learned, and he's answering all your questions. But you see that he's just eating all the time, snacking and eating, and doesn't seem to be very much controlling his senses. He eats many times a day, he's not regulated, and he eats very lavishly and luxurious foods. He seems to be very attached to eating, which is a normal person is the same way. Because a guru who's actually fixed in Brahman or fixed in spiritual realization, he eats very little because he's not concerned with this world very much. He takes a little chapati, sabji, dal, that's it. He's not mad after gratifying his tongue with varieties of sweets and fried foods and tasty items. You don't see him sitting down for big meals. He eats very simply. He eats to live. He doesn't live to eat. There's only one Diksha Guru, and the Shiksha Guru should be harmonious or in conformity with the Diksha Guru. Otherwise, impediments may arise in the practice of sadhana. There is no direction that permits one to renounce a Sadguru. However, a guru who has become inimical to Vaishnavas, Shastras and Bhakti, who is attached to sense enjoyment, and who lacks discrimination as to what is duty and what is not duty, who is foolish and is following a path other than Shuddha Bhakti, he should be given up. Then take Diksha again from Vaishnava Guru in accordance with the rules and regulations. Then he quotes the verse from Bhakti Lilas.